Macy the Science Gal.
Macy the Science Gal.
Macy, 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 Macy. Ecology is the study of ecosystems. Science rules. T-minus 5 seconds.
Macy the Science Gal.
The nervous system is vitally important for all complex animals. It helps them seek food and readily avoid danger. In fact, it regulates internal and external conditions and helps to maintain homeostasis. The human nervous system has 3 major components that helps it regulate things throughout the body. It helps with sensory input, motor output, and integration. Oh, there you guys all are. I was wondering where y'all went. Don't worry, there won't be any brain dissections today, but we will learn a little bit about the brain. Let's get to it. The human brain is encased around multiple layers of skin and an additional skull. The skull is composed of skeletal tissue in which protects your brain from outside forces. Within the brain is the peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system contains all of the nerves needed for your brain to operate throughout the body. When people are stressed out, they are often thinking about too many things. This is all due to all the neurons and neuralgia going on inside our brains. The cell body contains a nucleus and a variety of organelles. The dendrites, for example, are short, highly branched processes that receive signals from the sensory receptors or other neurons. The axon is the portion of the neuron that conveys information to other neurons or to other cells. Axons can be bundled together to form nerves. For this reason, axons are often called nerve fibers. By golly, I've done it. The nerve impulse. It has to do with the electrochemical phenomenon of uneven ion distribution. In the early 1900s, Julius Bernstein helped develop an experiment that helped him find that ions are distributed among the axonal membrane. Now you know, many people think that I have potential to be a gymnast. Okay, the potential is there, but obviously not that likely. But the brain, however, has 3 different types of potentials that we can go and talk about. Let's go. The actions include resting, action, and propagation of action potentials within the brain. When the axon is not conducting an impulse, the voltmeter records a membrane potential equal to about 65 millivolts, indicating that the inside of the neuron is more negative than the outside. This is resting potential. Action potential, however, is a rapid change in polarity across a portion of an axonal membrane as the nerve pulse occurs. Lastly, propagation of action potentials occurs when action potential travels down an axon one small section at a time. Let's go see what else is inside the brain. Macy, what are you doing?
I'm grabbing my spinal cord.
But why?
Because without it, I can't walk. Why would I want to forget my spinal cord at home? It's as important as a phone charger these days.
Although you may not consider the spinal cord a part of the nervous system, it is very vital. The spinal cord has 2 main functions. It is the center for many reflex actions, and it provides a means of communication between the brain and the spinal nerves. The main part of the brain consists of various lobes: the frontal lobe, temporal lobe,
parietal lobe and occipital lobe. The frontal lobe, which is indicated in the blue, is responsible for the primary motor actions. The temporal lobe, which is indicated in green, is responsible for auditory association. The parietal lobe, located in yellow, is responsible for the tasting. Lastly, the red zone, the occipital lobe, is where all the vision is generated from. All of the lobes collectively help you remember and reiterate things. Now, have you ever had one of these moments in class?
Quadratic formula. I said I would remember this. I clearly remember saying I would remember this. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I know I won't forget that for the test.
Just because there's 5 main areas of the brain all working to collectively keep you alive doesn't mean it's always going to remember the quadratic formula. Now that we've talked about this muscle, let's talk about the rest of the muscles within our body. The role of calcium within your body is actually very important to not only your bones, but the muscle system.
Milk is good for your bones and your body.
In order to help us learn, let's construct a model. But I don't know a model. Well, unless you talk about 6-year-old me. Within these pictures, we can see how the limbs and the bones are helping me pose in such a sassy situation. The components of the pectoral girdle are only loosely linked together by ligaments. Each clavicle or collarbone connects with the sternum and the scapula. This is located on my shoulder. Additionally, you can see the pelvic girdle. This consists of 2 heavy, large coxal bones. The coxal bones are anchored to the sacrum, and together these bones form a hollow cavity called the pelvic cavity. And this is located right underneath my awesome tutu. Now the legs, they're pretty cool. In the leg, the larger of the 2 bones, the tibia, has a ridge that we call a shin. Both of the bones of the leg have a prominence that contributes to the ankle. The tibia on the inside of the ankle and the fibula on the outside of the ankle. And with that, I'm kicking out. Inside and out.
Missy the Science Gal.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I connect all the vertebrae so without a stray. I will mend and take care of me. Its brains are the ones who will rule in the schemes every time. I said brains are the ones who will rule in the schemes every time. The grown cerebrum integrates all the senses made. The complex cortex allows the brains to be the ones who will rule in the schemes every time.
The people always blame me for becoming confused. I can't go around having a brain fart. The people always blame me for keeping them awake. But without me you're confused. I can't get past the grade 2.
Brains are vital for all functions. cerebrum's brain stems, and the lobes are the ones. But confusion ain't my fault. They say I am the one, but confusion ain't my fault. 3.1415 is pi, the irrational guy. But who can stand when I'm in command? My schemes and plans. I'll help you learn what you need to know. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think twice. Your spinal cord is controlled by me, aren't you lucky? Without it you would be paralyzed. Brains are the ones who will dance on the floor and around. The people always blame me for becoming confused. I can't go around having a brain fart. And the people always blame me for keeping them awake. But without me you're confused. I can't get past the grade 2.